You know what's beyond reason? With terrorist attacks happening in places like Europe and around the world, with more and more Christians being executed by ISIS, it's beyond reason that so many of our leaders still don't understand how to fight this enemy. And believe it or not, the only one out of the presidential candidates that I ever heard get it right on this issue, it wasn't Donald Trump. It wasn't even Ted Cruz. It's not Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders. Believe it or not, it was none other than Jim Gilmore, the former governor of Virginia. He was running, he's not in the race anymore, didn't get any traction. But he talked about this not only as a military war, but he talked about it as a war of ideas. A war of ideas. Those are what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear from leaders. Because we're fighting more than just an army. We're fighting a radical ideology. It's like a cancer that's spreading throughout the world. And he said we have to win the war of ideas. Well, how do you win a war of ideas? Well, we have history to look at once again. We have the Cold War. Yes, the Cold War, we had to build up our military as well, and it took some military to do that. But it also took strong leadership from people like Reagan and Thatcher and Pope John Paul, leaders in the Soviet bloc who were willing to stand up and fight against communism, but to also fight for things like democracy, individual liberty, free market, and religious freedom. I want to hear leaders go to these countries, talk to these people, spread the idea around the world that the radical Islamic ideology that believes in a caliphate and Sharia law is not only evil, but that Americanism is good. That the ideas of America and Western civilization, freedom and democracy are good. And if we could somehow spread that idea around the world forcefully, then maybe we can start to really beat back this radical Islamic ideology. And it's going to take the leadership from good Muslims as well. There are Muslim groups in this country who believe in those things. And they're standing up, and they need our leaders and our president to stand with them and stand up with them as well. So it's just something that I was thinking about with recent terrorist attacks. Some things that are beyond reason. And I'll talk about more Beyond Reason subjects, and you can also listen to the show or the podcast at beyondreasonradio.com.